大家好，在第7课，我们要学习一个很重要的语法点，新语法结构叫被我们还要学一个生词叫压，也要复习我们的把字句的语法结构啊。所以第一是压就是一个动词，压东西，这东西压下来啊。我们可以说压在一起，那么多人都压在一起，他们有太多人了，压在一起。如果压的太多了，还可以说压坏。坏 here means bad. It's a complement that describes the verb 压, meaning they're pressed so badly that in fact they are crushed. 压坏了 ，like 吃坏了，压坏了。哎呀，压起来的人太多了，下面的人不是要被压坏了吗？啊，被 here is a preposition meaning by, and it's used in a construction for passive voice. 被, 叫 and 张 can all serve as passive voice prepositions, but here we're going to focus specifically on 被. What is the structure of a 被 sentence? Like many structures in Chinese, the 被 structure will reverse the ordinary subject verb object structure. So it starts with the receiver of the action, then there's 被, then you have the agent of the action, and then finally at the end there is the verb. Or to put it another way, you have the subject plus 被plus the doer of the action plus a verb phrase. In fact, because 被 is a passive voice structure, you can even omit the doer to make the sentence more passive, in which case it would just be the subject plus 被plus the verb phrase. Let's look at an example. 我的功课被狗吃了. My homework was eaten, right? So this is how passive voice is done in English. Was eaten by the dog. Was eaten by the dog. 我的功课被狗吃了. 被狗吃了. The idea behind a 被字句 or a passive voice sentence is you're trying to deflect responsibility off yourself. You're focusing on all the bad things that happen to you without taking any responsibility. Let's look at another example. 他买的那些书被你的女朋友拿去了. The books that you bought were taken away by your girlfriend. Very passive aggressive. 糟糕，你的网球拍被我压坏了. So your tennis racket was crushed by me. 被我压坏了. It's not really my fault. I could even say 你的网球拍被压坏了. So who crushed it? Nobody. Who knows, right? Maybe it was me, but I'm not going to take responsibility for it. I'm going to use my passive voice, 被. As in English, 被 carries sometimes negative connotations. Usually appears in a situation that's unpleasant. And you can, as in English, you can omit the so-called doer of the action. Let's look at some other examples. 我的信用卡被拿走了. My credit card was taken. 同学们在教室里又唱又跳. 他快被吵死了. His classmates are singing and dancing in the classroom. he's really quickly will be he will have been distracted to death. 快被吵死了. And then the subject here, 他快被, and who is driving him to distraction? It's not said directly. 他快被, it's really in fact 同学吵死了. 你看，我的梨被你的西瓜压坏了. The subject here, my pear, by your watermelon was crushed. A related construction to the bei construction is the ba construction, which we learned before in level 15, and we'll review it again in this level. Bei and ba are related because they both focus on the receiver of the action, right? And they both put the verb, the action, and its other element at the end of the sentence. So they're related because they have a similar grammatical construction. Let's look at some examples of ba. The ba sentence is used to highlight what happens to the object, right? The receiver of the action that is being done. And it's used to highlight something called disposal, meaning something has affected the object, something happened to it, such as it was changed, it was put into place, it was finished or used up. So it's not used in the same way as a passive voice sentence. A passive voice sentence is used to deflect responsibility. It's used, the bei zhizhi is used to signify something as unpleasant has happened to the receiver. But they both focus on the receiver of the action, and they both have a similar grammatical construction. Let's look at an example. 我把你要的书找到了. Here, I 把 the book that you wanted, I found it. And the verb is 找 followed by the complement 到. There always must be some kind of verb element after the verb to turn it into a verb phrase. Or 你把这个字写错了. You 把 this character written incorrectly. 请把那条裤子给我. Please 把 that pair of pants to give to me. 你把这篇课文看看. Please, you 把 this article to look. 把这杯咖啡喝了. So this person, you, implied 把 this cup of coffee and to drink, to finish. 你怎么把女朋友的生日忘了? How did you 把 your girlfriend's birthday forgot? Sentences that must be in the form of a ba zhizhi. And specifically, if the subject of a sentence is given, the object is known, and the verb is followed by the complement, such as 在 or 到, that sentence must appear in the ba construction. This is typically for when you're putting things in different locations. For example, if I say put the pen on the desk, I must say 你把笔放在桌子上. You 把 the pen to put on the desk. And the reason for this is because you need to follow a verb directly with a complement, and it would be confusing if you were not able to use the ba zhizhi, because then the flow of the sentence would be unclear. Let's look at another example of that. 请你把这封信送到律师的办公室。Please 把 this letter delivered to the lawyer's office. So generally speaking, the 把 这句 is straightforward. It's just it's a pattern that we need to remember in order to use it effectively. It's very common in Chinese. The 被 这句, the 被 structure is a similar pattern, very much like the 把 pattern, both grammatically and in its focus on the receiver of the action. And it's just another pattern that we need to practice and remember in Chinese. 好，谢谢大家，感谢你们的收听。